What's up, guys? Thanks so much for tuning in to another special episode of the Brandon J. Show. I am here with the iconic gospel legend, Mr. Fred Hammond, along with his group members, the Legendary Commission. How are you?
No, not commission.
Okay.
Fred, Keith, and Marcus.
Fred, Keith, and Marcus.
Used to be that.
Right.
But now we this.
Okay. Well, welcome to the Brandon J. Show.
Yeah, man.
It's
Finally.
such a pleasure to have y'all.
I made it.
Thank you.
Yes. So how are y'all doing?
Thanks
Good,
for having
Good,
us.
man. How you
Good.
feeling?
I'm doing good.
Good. I see you doing your thing. You got everybody, man. You be doing everybody.
Absolutely.
Yes. God is faithful.
Yeah, yes.
God is
Good, man.
faithful. So yeah, y'all about to do y'all thing on stage tonight in Houston, Texas. What's going on with that?
Yeah.
Man, I'm just happy to be here with the legendary. He's my brother. I started out with him from day one with Commission, and now Fred Keith Marcus.
Yes.
But he's like being with him and hanging with and seeing him do what he do.
Yes.
It's just like amazing. So I'm just happy to be hanging with my brother.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mr.
Man,
Marcus, how does it feel?
Man, this is amazing. Fred is ushering us into like somewhere else we've really never been.
Yeah.
And to just watch him. Sometimes I'll go out in the beginning of the show and just sit in the audience and listen to people before he even gets on the stage, and the people are just so. I mean, every city, doesn't matter where we at, just loves what Fred does, man. And so this is surreal, to be quite honest. I'm still really taking it in every night. So
Yeah.
it's dope. It's dope.
That's what's up. So what is the name of the new project?
Time Capsule
Time Capsule,
Trilogy.
Okay.
It's under FK and M.
Ampersand.
Ampersand. M. That is not an E. Not an E. We spent so much time trying to make sure that it wasn't that.
Right.
Then they sent us some art and we missed it, and it looks exactly like an E. So, charge it to our heart.
Yeah.
Not our E.
Okay. So how many songs are you guys performing tonight?
Well, actually, the way the tour is set up, Kirk wanted me,
Okay.
and my brothers we had this record coming out, and I wanted them to get a feel of this whole world.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So they're actually here tonight. We don't get a chance to do anything from our project, which
Oh,
we'll do
okay.
that later.
Okay.
But they're here, and I just tossed them the mic so they can do what they do with mine. So they
Oh,
here
so
to
they
support
sing in the
the band.
background
No, they singing with me.
with you. Okay.
Yeah,
I
no.
love
Background. We got background singers.
Yes,
Killers.
sir.
These guys are singing with me,
Okay.
helping me do what I do. You know what I'm saying? So,
That's awesome.
That's
So it-
important to know.
Absolutely. So it feels amazing to come back together after so many years to do a project,
absolutely.
huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is, who would have thought that the two OGs, and myself would get together on an actual project. And so we just watched it unfold, and we started with one song, and then Fred saw something much bigger than that. And then, like he said, while we were in the midst of recording, then he kind of come to us with, "Hey guys, we're gonna be going on tour. Y'all might want to come." So this is big, bro.
That's a blessing.
Yeah.
That's a blessing.
Yes, it is.
Yes. So what have you guys been up to, Mr. Marcus and Mr. Keith? What have y'all been up to prior to this project? Are y'all doing your own solo thing?
Well, yeah, actually, Marcus was just about finished producing my solo project.
Oh, cool. Congratulations.
Which will
Thank
be
you.
out very soon.
Yeah.
So, but of course, once Fred, got with us and we got together, I said, look, we put everything on, and just do it systematically based on, what we're doing and with our project.
Absolutely.
It'll speak to what's the best timing to release that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And what about you, Mr. Marcus? What have you
Well,
been up to?
that's pretty much it, man. Just writing and producing. I have my project as well. That's been for years. It's probably 30 years old. No, I'm just kidding. But but you know what I'm saying. I think everything is about timing and everything. But I'm enjoying this ride right now.
Absolutely.
Being involved in this whole process.
Absolutely. Well, Mr. Fred, I want to personally tell you, thank you so much for this. I grew up listening to your songs, blessed. I mean, so many hits. I mean, so many hits in my mind right now. Jesus, Jesus. I mean, so many.
Come on now.
This is my childhood.
You gonna hear them tonight, bro?
Growing up in the 90s,
yeah.
I mean, this is such an honor.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say this. It was never about being an artist for me.
Okay.
My mother instilled in us that we had a purpose.
Absolutely.
And I always just had a thing inside of me that wanted to witness, and I wasn't very good when I talked as a kid. I didn't stand up on the swing set and start preaching to people. I didn't have that thing. I was actually nervous about all of that.
Okay.
I wouldn't even get up in testimony service at church and testify. I'd say, I'm testifying tonight, and I'd get cold feet, and I never wanted to talk. But when I found out I could sing a little bit and people would listen, and I said, I'll dedicate that to telling people about who God is and inspiring them.
Absolutely.
And that's what I did, and that's the life I chose.
Wow. So you were like nervous to speak, but once it was time for you to sing, the nerves went out the door.
Well, even then it took some getting used to, because even, I'm gonna give you a little something. Like when we formed Commission, Keith was a prodigy in the city.
Okay.
You know, he had already had that church presence.
Yes.
Whereas a couple of us, Mitch and I, we were always kind of on the doo-wop R&B side, the dramatics, the whispers. We sang like that kind of music.
Okay.
But when we heard Keith, you know, one thing I was able to do was learn from him, and that's the beauty of, I can learn from anybody.
Absolutely.
So even though I was the leader of the group, pulled everything together, the bass player and one of the lead vocalists, I paid attention that Keith had a vibe and a style that moved the crowd.
Absolutely.
And I was like, I just paid attention. I took notes, and it got me here to where I am today. You know, so now you see him tonight on this. You see him. He do this thing. He go back and forth. And that's what he had before we had that.
Gotcha.
I didn't have that then, but I paid attention. You know, and that's what it is. You know, it's just a bomb. So if you're in something, pay attention. Here, listen. I'll tell your people. If you're watching something, if you're doing something, if you're collaborating with something, be humble enough to be open to learn from everybody in there. Don't close your mind off and think, well, I'm better than her, I'm better than she ain't better than this. If you humble yourself and get the good things from everybody, you will actually be able to excel down the road. And then you'll be able to look at all of those people and that helped you get there, that you learned from, and say, now what?
Okay.
Don't get that. Keep all of that in there. Keep all of that. It's a joke. It's a joke. You know, but that's the honest thing, man. Everywhere I go, it's an opportunity to learn. I'm on this tour with Kirk. I do tours. I got to be about 20 tours on my own.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kirk and I did one of the first tours together with Yolanda back in '96, called the Tour of Life, and we went for like a year.
Oh wow.
But even now, I get to sit back and watch the little brother do his thing.
Yeah.
You know, and
That's
I just
awesome.
get to, and he just said, man, tell me where to stand.
Absolutely.
It's good to be able to come into a room where you can be a support and you don't have to lead. Now, if I ever had to lead anything, I'll do it. But at the end of the day, I love standing up and watching and just tell me where to stand. And you can learn. You can learn if you just do that. And everybody on this tour, we're all having a great time. It's coming down to the last 8 concerts. And we're all having an amazing time. We're old enough to not have no schisms and isms.
Absolutely. And I was just about to ask you, what type of advice do you have for artists coming up in the music business like myself? But you just gave me what I needed.
That's it. That's
Learn
it.
from somebody else.
Everybody. Man, I never had to have the answers. I never had to have the answers.
Yes.
I could always be in a room, and I never had to have suggestions. I'll say this and I'll be done. One of my first things was I played bass for the Whiners. I was a traveling bass player, and everybody in the city knew who I was, all over the country who I was. But I interned for the great Thomas Whitfield way before your time. I'm not sure if you know Thomas Whitfield.
I've heard of him.
Look him up.
Okay.
All right. But Thomas Whitfield was one of the greats in Detroit, and he produced Vanessa Bell Armstrong, Peace Be Still album, all these different ones.
Wow.
And I just wanted to hang around. He had all the musicians. He was recording at a studio. I hadn't recorded at any studio.
Gotcha.
And I sat in the room and I put a garbage can upside down between the effects rack and the tape machine. And I sat in the corner and all I prayed was, Lord, don't let him ask me to leave. Now that seems funny, but what I wanted to do is let me stay in the room. So many people get in the room and they don't know how to stay in the room.
Wow.
So they want to give suggestions. They want to talk. I was as quiet as a mouse, and I paid attention to the bass player, and I paid attention. I didn't ask for my turn. I just sat there, and when they needed food, and they didn't have nobody to make a run, I volunteered. I'll make the run. I'll go get it.
Yes, sir.
I go get whatever you need me to do. Just don't kick me out the room.
Absolutely.
I can't learn if I'm on the outside.
Right.
That'll preach.
But if God
I can't
bring
learn
you,
if that's
if
it.
God bring you in the room,
If
it's
you
all
get in the
you.
room, learn how to stay in the room.
Learn how to, because the room is talking.
Man.
The room will teach you.
Absolutely.
And then you
I'm
have
learning
patience.
right
You have patience. And I sat in there, and each day and I never forget the feeling I had when it was over. The session would be 12 hours,
Yes.
and they had 3-4 more days. When it was over, the guys asked, Thomas asked, "Are you coming back tomorrow?" Not to get food, but you coming back because I made myself available, and I sat right there every day.
Yeah.
I watched that guy, man, just do things. I watched him in his sleep. He had narcolepsy, it's like narcolepsy, but he was a genius.
Yeah.
So he would sit there, man. It'd be 2:00 in the morning. He'd sit there and be like, "Hey, who played that B flat?"
Oh, wow.
No. You don't
Right, he can
don't go
still
like
hear.
that. And they played the track, and they found out who played it, and they said, "Dang, this dude is like."
Wow.
But I got a chance to see that.
Yeah. That's powerful.
Stay in the room.
Yes.
If you get in the room, shut your mouth
Shut your mouth.
and learn.
Soak it in.
And then one day you're gonna use that stuff you learned in that room for a bigger room later.
Wow, that's powerful. I appreciate
Yeah.
that advice.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for this time. I can't wait to hear you sing No Weapon. I was going to ask you to do a little something. I was going to sing a little something, but you got to get ready for a show.
We gotta get ready.
Gotta get ready, man.
So, yeah.
Just aim the phone at the thing.
Right.
Be here tonight.
No weapon
Do that.
formed against me
Right.
shall prosper.
Go ahead.
That's all I'm going to give y'all.
That's all you got.
I got to get ready for a show.
That's all we need.
So,
Come on,
maybe
man.
one day I can sing background for you or something. You know what I mean? Thank
Well,
you
keep
so
doing
much.
your
This has
thing.
been amazing.
Keep doing it. When I tell you this,
Yes, sir.
do not get locked into worrying about music.
Okay.
The music scene has shifted.
Yes.
The amount of people in the music business, in the gospel music business today, that sing on a phenomenal level,
Yes.
have now reached in the thousands. When we were doing this as
Okay.
commission,
Okay.
it might have been a few hundred, top 200 to total,
Absolutely.
and only the top 40 counted.
Okay.
Now you have thousands of people doing it, and the musician or the singer that finds his way
Uh-huh.
to doing other things like podcasts,
Yes,
like
sir.
acting, like producing little shows, or coming up with different content. That's the person gonna find a way to win. So
Okay.
we gotta go, family.
Yes, sir.
We don't want to go, but we
Right.
gotta go.
Well, thank you so much, Mr.
Thank
Fred.
you,
It's been
brother.
such a pleasure. I truly appreciate you guys
Absolutely,
as well.
brother.
And thank y'all so much for tuning into another special episode of the Brandon J. Show. I am here with the iconic Fred Hammond, Marcus Cole, and Keith Staten. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Brandon J. Show. Peace and blessings.
Yes, sir.